Hey, what's up, everybody? Onepeg here. So there is a major series of patches that are coming. One is ongoing right now that apparently nerfs rogues into the ground, more so than people even realize. Second, there has been a slight nerf, or I guess slight nerf / buff, but in the different area for clerics. And there is a massive patch coming on Tuesday. The patch got pushed from Friday to Tuesday with a wipe. So for those of you that are wondering, I have all those pieces of information. We can talk about how the rogue got nerfed into the dirt. I believe they kind of nerfed into the dirt, and all of the stuff that's going on next week. We'll talk about that here. Okay, so I switched this to just kind of like share my whole screen. This is the patch note, and that is ongoing right now. Fix a bug where gold coins could be duplicated. That was an issue. Cleric's base strength increased from 11 to 13, which gives clerics an additional, I think, about 6 hit points. Cleric's base agility increased from 11 to 12. That's slightly more, like 3% more run speed. This will be a couple extra points of damage. Cleric's base will decrease from 30 to 25. That is a 10%-ish reduction in the amount of healing and the amount of spell damage that a cleric will do, and it will also reduce the amount of buff duration that they have ever so slightly. And then cleric's base resourcefulness increased from 5 to 7%. When you have single-digit stats, that is an increase of 5% per stat point, which gives them a 10% increase in opening doors and opening chests and that kind of stuff. So this will help them with like loot speed and opening doors and whatnot, which is kind of nice. On to the rogue stuff. Rogue's base agility decreased from 35 to 30. Rogues are made slower and swing slower. Rogue's base resourcefulness increased from 15 to 20, so they will access things faster and they will also mine considerably quicker. This is about a 10% increase in mining speed. Actually, it's probably closer to 15%. Rogue's ambush perk damage bonus decreased from 50% to 30%. This is a huge, huge nerf. Rogue's hide base duration decreased from 60 seconds to 20 seconds. Rogue now has hide mastery perk that increases their hide duration, but it doesn't say by how much or whatever it does. Rogue's weak point attack is 50%. The 50% weapon damage bonus on weak point. The initial attack, that increase in damage has been removed. Rogue's weak point attack armor rating debuff has been reduced from 40% reduction to a 25% reduction. Weak point attack's duration is now 3 seconds down from 5 and reduced the damage of all daggers. So that is a massive, massive nerf. I'm sure at this point Reddit is completely on fire. We had a long conversation today while I was live over on my Twitch channel. There was a lot of people that came by to have this discussion. It's pretty big. There is a couple of things here though. The base will of a rogue is 6, which means that is a 25% reduction in buff duration. They talked about how the base duration of hide is 60 seconds. Well, in reality, that's only about 42 to 45 seconds. Somewhere around there is the actual hide duration because it's reduced by 25%. So you only get a 45-ish second hide down from 60 because it's a 25%-ish reduction in the duration. If we modify that to a 20-second base duration, that means that it's now 15. A gray invisibility potion is also 20 seconds. So if you've ever drank a gray invis pot, that's how long it lasts if you were a rogue. The damage changes are also pretty substantial. What I would like to see, if there's anything here that's viable coming out of this, is instead of building toward plus physical, it's likely that rogues will end up building more toward like plus magic damage, much like a caster class, and maybe dig toward poison, maybe start stacking up agility to see if they could get some faster swings, and try to stack poison on their targets and let the dots tick while they, I don't know, kite them. I don't really know. But this looks like the damage jump is going to be pretty significant. Like it's going to change the damage output of a rogue by a very wide margin. It used to be that you got a 100% increase in damage between ambush and weak point. Those two would scale the damage of your dagger to double, and then you would have a headshot that would do an additional 50% damage on top of that. It was just crazy scaling damage. Now it is just 30% increased on whatever the dagger's nerf goes to, and then you would get the 50% bonus on hitting a head. So it looks like instead of like 1 to 3 hits, it's going to be more like 3 to 5 on a squishier target. So we'll have to see what, I guess, happens here. The changes to cleric, I think, are more of a nothing burger. It doesn't really look like much there at all. There's a little bit less of a impact on spells and more of an impact towards health and accessing stuff, if you want to think about it that way. The bigger piece of information on top of that is this. We're sorry to announce the early access patch that was planned for this week will be delayed until Tuesday, September 26th. Instead, we will deploy this emergency hotfix to stop a serious goal duping bug. They also threw in the balance changes they say here at the end of the paragraph. Due to the side effects from the duping bug, we've decided to execute the next early access wipe much earlier than expected. we plan to wipe the game in tandem with the early access patch next Tuesday. Wipe number 2 will only wipe players' inventories, including all items and gold. This time, users will keep all their characters and their level progression. Please note the update will also introduce sweeping balance changes that will affect almost every class, weapon, and item in the game. So, there is a large balance pass that's being made early next week, along with a wipe starting everyone off on a clean slate. I do not know what all of those changes are or what they look like, but we are establishing a Q&A with the developers. We'll be doing a live Q&A with them at some point in the next couple of weeks after this patch is live. I probably will reach out to them and figure out an exact date and let all of you know at some point Wednesday, Thursday next week, once the patch has had a chance to settle with everyone. In the meantime, with this rogue patch, I personally believe that this is a little heavy-handed. I don't know exactly how this is going to boil out because I don't have a lot of hours on rogue. I am interested to see how this pans out over the weekend leading into the Tuesday patch. My guess is they will end up rolling this back and give a little bit back to rogues between now and whenever the Tuesday patch hits. There's probably going to be a couple of patch notes in there that will kind of bring rogues back up a little bit or bring everybody else back down to meet us at the nerfed level, whatever that level is. I'm interested to see what this looks like. So I would say if you're somebody that plays a rogue, try playing it for the weekend, see how rough it is. I'm not trying to pad anything. I'm just trying to be objective, act as though I'm Switzerland, and try not to inject any emotional stuff into it. My personal feeling though is that it is a little heavy-handed, just based on the stats that I'm looking at, because it's forcing or will force rogues to likely play something as an alternative build in order to be able to get the damage output, unless they're super geared. So we'll have to see, at each level, what that actually looks like. But I know that there's a lot of people that are cheering, and I know that Reddit is likely on fire at this point. Anyway, that's what I have for all of you to let you know what's going on. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for coming by the stream. Thank you for supporting me. You guys are effing amazing. I will get back to you in the next one. I promise. We'll have some updates for you in the next handful of days. And until then, thanks so much. Peace.